China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi has arrived in the Zambian capital, Lusaka. He has met with the Zambian Foreign Minister Kalaba, and he is due to meet with President Edgar Lungu on Monday. It is the Chinese Foreign Minister's second stop on a 5-country African tour. China hopes to comprehensively upgrade cooperation with Africa in 2017, according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Wang Yi's tour of Africa is also aimed at enhancing solidarity and common development among developing countries. China has several major projects running in Zambia at the moment. The biggest is assisting in the construction of the Zambia-Tanzania railway. Foreign Minister Wang Yi's next stop on his African tour is Tanzania. Well, let's get you a quick update now on that story, and I'm joined from Lusaka by CGTN's Farai Mwakutuya. Farai, what if the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, what is he doing right now in Lusaka? What's the latest on the events of today?
Well, Beatrice, he is right now in the building that is behind me. That is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Lusaka. He's meeting his Zambian counterpart, Kalaba. They got into that meeting just under an hour ago. And we're expecting that they will talk about various areas of cooperation, as you've mentioned. But I can tell you that in their introductory remarks that were open to the press and, which we observed, they were very clear that the relationship between Zambia and China now needs to be expanded, has to be accelerated and taken to the next level to go beyond diplomatic ties. Zambia was, of course, the first country in the SADC region to open up diplomatic relations with China. But Foreign Minister Wang Yi was very clear that we need to move this relationship further, particularly in the areas of the economic and trade relations. And they singled out that Zambia-Tanzania railway that you talked about, and saying that it must offer a lot more to both countries, not beyond development, but also economic and financial benefits. So that is what's happening right now. The foreign minister is here. They're in talks, and we'll expect to get more updates later this evening. Beatrice.
Well, Farai, apart from the expanded cooperation that you've talked about, can you talk us through the agenda for the Chinese foreign minister during his visit to Zambia?
Well, he is in these meetings now, and we expect, according to the schedule, that from here, both he and Minister Kalaba will move to another venue where they'll hold a press conference to brief the press on the outcomes, the agreements, the areas of cooperation and mutual partnership that have been agreed in the meetings that are currently underway. Thereafter will be a dinner hosted by Zambia for the foreign minister at a venue here in Lusaka. Tomorrow morning, he kicks off his day with a very early morning call on Zambian President Edgar Lungu. We expect that he may be extending some messages of solidarity from the Edgar Lungu's Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping. From there, he wraps up his visit to Zambia with that courtesy call on President Edgar Lungu, and then moves on to Tanzania.
Farai Mwakutuya for us there in Lusaka. Well, as we've just heard, Zambia established diplomatic ties with China back in October of 1964. And that came just after the Southern African country gained its independence from colonial rule. Since then, ties between the two countries have strengthened, especially in the mining industry. In 1998, the Chinese company CNMC bought a controlling stake in Zambia's Chambisi copper mine. Less than a decade later, hundreds of Chinese companies have since invested in Zambia. Trade has also been growing and ranged from mining to investments in agriculture and tourism. China also has several official development finance projects running in Zambia. These include power project funding and debt relief. In December of 2015, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced a multi-billion-dollar plan for Africa. And Zambia will be hoping that some of that finance goes to the Southern African country.